makes it more difficult to convict him. What about the no such unreasonable search or seizure shall be made? That makes it more difficult. They were written to make it more difficult. And what
Black could protest in his time-honored way. There are the words in black and white. But the country around him was changing.
In black and white, the Constitution says I have the Bill of Rights.
And the GOP nominee for president in 1960.
Yeah, y'all used the court to get what you wanted. Nixon came in. Tricky Dick. I told you. This movie is called Watergate and Waukegan Gate. I showed how the government uses the judicial system and the justices to dual racists to do their war on drugs, to do your private, what you do.
Crime is committed every 60 seconds.
Richard Nixon has a heyday with these rulings, particularly Miranda. He says that the Warren Court has been coddling criminals, and he sets out to win the White House in part based on the idea that he will appoint new justices to the Supreme Court.
And it will get worse unless we take the offensive. Freedom from fear is a basic right of every American.
The Republican Party has always did fear factor.
Some of our courts and their decisions have gone too far.
Nixon may not have known what to do about the riots in the cities or about Vietnam.
But he knew what to do with the
He
court.
wanted to run against. If he could put together fear of crime in the big northern cities with the South's resentment of the Warren Court, that combination would be a winner. Nixon would try to turn the court away from its agenda of civil rights and personal rights, to take the restraints off of government power, to usher in the counter-revolution.
I, Richard Billhouse Nixon, do solemnly swear that you will faithfully execute the office. That I will faithfully execute the
All you officials took an oath of office to protect our rights. All of you officials that I contacted have violated your oath of office. It's no different than Richard Nixon.
Change in part the court that Warren had created, the constitutional vision that Warren had created, Warren's notion of what is just and right, and what really is, in Warren's sense, America.
So help you God. So help me God.
Each one of y'all took that oath, so help you God, and none of y'all want to defend my civil constitutional rights. None of y'all want to defend my rights under the Constitution. Am I a black man or just a piece of property?
Hugo Black was approaching his 83rd birthday, the end of the long game. But he was still playing. Maybe he thought he could outlast Nixon. More important, after 32 years on the court, he knew what he'd done.
I think he let January 20th, 1969 pass without being very upset about it. I think he thinks the election of a mere president is not likely to change what has been put in place by the court. The court had accomplished so much. I mean, no one would have thought from the vantage point of the late 1930s that the court would be able to take on racial segregation, eliminate all the Jim Crow laws.
They didn't eliminate all the Jim Crow laws. They still intact. They just reinvented them. Patriot Act.
No one would have thought all that could have been accomplished.
For more on landmark cases, the personalities behind the robes, and significant moments...
PBS gives me all the information I need to defend myself.
PBS.org.